He was trying to avoid the war, and then all of a sudden he's in the middle of it.
He's maybe 25 at the most. He's still a young kid. It was a lousy war to begin with. There was really no way you could train for that.
Robert and I happened to meet on the Common several years ago and discovered we had a mutual interest in reading and have started a book club for the homeless.
And we're meeting here on the Church on the Hill on Bowden Street, and we're meeting Tuesdays between the hours of 10 and 12.
We are sometimes as few as 3 or 4 people, and at other times we've been as many as 12. We have a man in our club who was formerly homeless, who is a Yale graduate. We've read books like Samurai's Garden, A Thousand Splendid Suns. We've done some work on Emerson, O. Henry. We recently read The Help. We're currently reading a book called The Things They Carry, and every week we just talk. Is it part of the training mentality to remove the recruit from their past, from their civil morality?
I trained kids how to fire an M16. Now, we're not shooting at pigeons. So I guess in some sense, you do have to kind of tweak their morality a little bit.
Everybody in that group brings something different and something interesting to the discussions, and there is a sense of community.
When Ned started with the book club, he really started opening up. He'd be shy to talk to strangers, but just you've seen him on today's meeting, how different he is than when he's on the street.
Look on page 67, where the death of Lemon is actually described in vivid, beautiful terms, in a really scary way. Tim O'Brien is doing his best here. When he died, it was almost beautiful the way the sunlight came around him and lifted him up and sucked him high into a tree full of moss and vines and white blossoms. That's a vividly realized individual event which he's never going to forget.
Now, it's like when we were reading The Help, I thought that was a great book, and it was like, man, I just can't wait till next week because I want to talk about this and that. If it's a really interesting book, just to keep up, you look forward to it.
Stories that start as stories become fact simply because no one can prove that they're not stories, and that they could have happened.
One story, however factual, however evocative, can get it about something as primal as war.
The first and most inspiring part of our book club is to know that there are people who are standing in line for soup kitchens, who are waiting for meals programs to open, or waiting for whatever the service might be, and someone says, I just saw this book, and they can say, I read that.
A lot of them will ask, well, what are you reading now? And when we tell them something, it's like, oh, well, our group read that, or, they were reading it. And we'd have discussions even while we were preparing a Monday meal.
That sense of value has grown both in those people who are housed and help us with this program and the people who are living on the margins.